Tonight on Colonial Sports Center, we hit the ice after a long break because the Colonials are in town and it's the men's hockey followed up by the women's hockey. In men's hoops, we got lots of action for you. The Colonials flying high on a 6-game winning streak. Plus, the Colonial Crazies setting their good karma all over the place. Can Sharday Logan set a record? You bet she can. It's all starting right now on Colonial Sports Center. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the 2008 edition of Colonial Sports Center. I'm Andrew Chiapese. She's the very effervescent Kelly Burke. And Kelly, I've missed you so much.
I've missed you too. It's good to be back. We have plenty to show you from the last few weeks, including 8 highlights and one that occurred just a few hours ago. Yeah,
Mike Rice's Colonials red hot right now. But first, we're going to hit the hardwood with the women's hoops and another red-hot team because apparently that brutal out-of-conference schedule that Sal Biscaglia set up for his Lady Colonials, well, it worked. After squeaking out to a 4-7 start to the season, complete with an upset of Tulane and close ones versus the likes of Florida, Coach Sal's ladies have found themselves in recent weeks, well, red-hot in the Northeast Conference. Since losing at home 59-57 to Sacred Heart on January 13th, the Colonials have not lost, and they have not won by less than 12 points. The juggernaut on display last Saturday at the Charles L. Sewell Center against St. Francis. And ladies looking to move to 9-9 on the year at this point. They did so by frustrating the tree. Katja Bavendam had no room to work all night. RMU turns it in point. Sharday Logan, yeah, she's good. 3-0 RMU. Then Logan again. Someone maybe want to think about guarding her. Bueller, anyone? Bueller? Logan, red hot early on. Then later in the first, Terriers make a run behind Linda Warrington, drives to the hole, then turns a fast break into an easy deuce. 17-15 RMU at this point. Coach Sal, yeah, bumming a little bit. Sinead Nesbitt, though, is going to step up. Picks the pocket like she was strolling down Fifth Avenue. Dunk it! Dunk it! No, easy lay-in. 27-19 RMU up. Then the run continues. A nifty dish by Nesbitt. Grace Williams drops it in. 33-22 RMU. That would be as close as the Terriers would get. They would try a little bit. Tiffany Hill drops in the 3 to briefly close the gap. But Angela Pace shoves in the dagger at halftime. 36-25. Colonials up at the half. Second verse, same as the first. Sashi Butler this time going strong to the hole. She had 9 on the night. Limited duty. She's been battling injuries all year long. Then more Nesbitt using that wingspan, gets it back, puts it in. At one point, Army would be up by 34. Nesbitt just so smooth. She'd finish with 24 on the night after getting that one back from Angela Pace. Lays it up and in, and the Colonials, well, we're right back where we started. Sharday Logan gets a nice dish. Green is the color of money. She had 24 as well. RMU wins big, 80-47. And the Colonials just red hot right now.
Then the ladies set to take on Central Connecticut State. They're out with one of their big players, Shanita Nesbitt, out sick, watching from the bench as Kendra Williams finds Sharday Logan good for 3. It was another big game for Logan. AJ said she's good. He is right. Grace Williams on defense comes up with the steal. She'll finish it off for an easy layup for RMU. Angela Pace is next with the ball. She'll pass it on to the other Williams. This time it's Kendra. She's up and under, good for 2. Kendra again, this time to Butler. She gets the shot off. That's good for 2 more for the Colonials. And then it's back to Logan. Here she hits another perfect shot. She really made it look easy against Central Connecticut State. She goes on to hit yet another jumper. And she doesn't even care what side of the court she's on. She'll come right down the other side here. And another 3 from that side. Janae Harris, she is for Central Connecticut, just beats the clock. That's good for 2, but this time Logan will come back in with a layup. Then it's another jumper. Once again, Sharday Logan. Who else for the Colonial? She goes on to set a record for Robert Morris in this game. Pace gets the steal. She finishes off the play. Romo in the back. He's loving the effort. The girls decided to get a little physical at this point. Why not? You're up by 30 points. And a long pass down the court to who else but Sharday Logan. All this time she needs for this three-pointer. She went on 7 for 7 from foul shots, 38 total points. A new Robert Morris record high. Since we left last semester in December, the women have gone 9-4 after losing 5 of their last 7 games. The team is now averaging nearly 75 points a game and 40 rebounds. Let's take a look at some of the stats from the past 6 games. The first win against Fairleigh Dickinson, 89-61. As AJ said, they haven't won by less than 12 points in this as they came home to beat St. Francis and Central Connecticut State. Here's a look at how they match up in the conference. These are the top 7 teams. Overall, Robert Morris is 12-9 overall and 8-2 in the conference.
Shahidi Monsack is off playing pro ball in Israel right now, but the Colonials have a possible lottery pick in the WNBA draft in 2009 right here at home. Remember the name? Sharday Logan. The transfer from Kentucky by way of Chattanooga State Junior College has been lights out for the Lady Colonials, and her stats have her at the top of national rankings across the board. Let's just check these stats out. They are going to wow you. Take a look at some of these stats. Leads the NCAA in 3 points per game, well ahead there. She is just behind the leading scorer in NCAA. She is hovered around 24 to 26 points per game. And meanwhile, Coach Charlie Biscaglia has been absolutely thrilled as an assistant under his father, Sal. He talked to Dan Yost about Sharday's game as well as the game plan against LIU this weekend.
Really surprised with how quickly Sharday Logan has come on so far this season?
Not at all. You know, we've expected a lot from Sharday coming in. She was a great player out of high school, and you know the front page on her was that she was going to be one of the top players in the country, and you know she's proven it now. So you know we expected that and put a lot of work into her in the off season when she had to sit out last year. We saw that she was going to get right back into things.
And finally, like you said, big game this weekend against LIU. What's the game plan against the Blackbirds?
Well, you know, we play 2 different styles of ball. We're a little more athletic. I think we're going to, push the ball better and make more athletic plays. And they run their plays really well, though. They run a lot of sets, and I think we're going to have to do a good job of getting the tempo up in the game and getting the emotions going. And I think just free throws, finishing, and keeping the turnovers down. I think those are the big things we have to deal with. Along with, obviously once the game does get slowed down, we do have to play man-to-man defense. We don't play conventional basketball, and everybody kind of sees that comes to our games, but we still have to guard it, and, they're going to run conventional stuff.
Okay, thank you for your time, Coach.
Our thanks to Dan Yost and Charlie Biscaglia. Don't worry, Hoops fans, we've got more coming your way later on the show. The men were in action tonight against Fairleigh Dickinson. They won 95-45. It is the largest win ever in Northeast Conference play for Robert Morris. We've got the highlights in just a bit.
There was a lot of buzz around the offices at CSC about a well-kept secret, but we got word that there'd be a big press conference coming up, and we were the first ones there when the news was released. On January 29th, it was announced that RMU will play the U.S. national softball team on their tour across the country before the Beijing Olympics. Here's a look at what Coach and Athletic Director Craig Coleman had to say at the press conference.
The fact that the U.S. Olympic team is coming here to play at all is testament to how fast pitch softball has really developed in this area. And as somebody who was in on the very beginnings of that, it makes me very proud. We hope that this event will be something that Western Pennsylvania will really enjoy and take in the incredible dedication of our Olympic athletes. It's an honor to be on the same field with them and with Coach Mike Candrea, who, as far as I'm concerned, is the best coach in any sport in the country. And I know that our kids, we've had a lot of success in our program over the years, a lot of good years, some not so good years, conference championships, trips to the NCAA, but I think this will be something that our kids will certainly tell their grandkids about, and I don't think they'll ever be able to forget this event. So again, thanks to everybody that's helped put this together.
Here's all the information for that game. RMU versus the U.S. national team at Consol Energy Park in Washington, PA on May 1st at 7:30.
It's an excellent opportunity for the ladies, and personally, I can't wait to see Jenny Finch.
You're right. We're going to move on to hockey when we get back, so stick around. My highlights.
A 4-team conference. The top team ranked 7th in the nation. The second team would be ranked if the poll went beyond 20 teams. You are the 3rd place team. And the 4th place team, well, they're tied with you in the conference, and they're your hated rival. Sounds appetizing, doesn't it? That's what the Lady Colonials have to face every week on the ice, and when you augment that with a brutal non-conference schedule, there's really no chance to rest, especially against the number 2 team in the CHA, that would be Wayne State, and they were visiting the RMU Island Sports Center. Let's go check it out. Brianne McLaughlin in net, a rough night ahead for her and the Colonials, a very lonely night at that end of the ring for Brianne McLaughlin and the Lady Colonials. Early first, well, the onslaught would begin. It wasn't pretty, folks. Lindsay DiPietro would get this one from Melissa Bowl. DiPietro's 10th of the year. She puts it in the back of the net behind McLaughlin, and we are off and running. 1-0 Wayne State at that point. RMU would have a chance to answer, though. Mallory Giambra is able to dig it out, then gets it to Jackie Gibson, and Gibson's going to end up feeding Kristen Miles in front of the net, who jams it in. She scores. We're tied at 1 after 1. And the Colonials hoping to maybe pull off the upset here, but it would not happen. They head into the locker room tied at 1 after 1. Second period, the wheels come off. 2-on-1, Melissa Bowl scores her 25th goal of the year. 2-1 Warriors at that point, hugs and hand pounds all around. 3-1 Wayne State at this point, well, make it 4-1. Bowl again. She had 5 points on the night. She has been red hot for the Warriors. Oh, and to cap it all off in the second, Sam Payton jams in her 24th. 5-1 Warriors after 2. The big-time goal scorers stepping up for the Lady Warriors of Wayne State. And no, sorry, ladies, we're not done yet. Chelsea Burnett's getting in on the fun. Scores her first of the year. It is 6-1 Wayne State. That is your final score at the Island Sports Center.
Over the past few months, as part of a documentary project, I've been exploring the history of the Colonial men's hockey team. Not only has Coach Derek Scully been able to put together a solid team in 4 years, but also a successful coaching staff, which all began with another familiar face in RMU hockey.
Nate Handrahan made his way to Robert Morris. He helped lead the Niagara Purple Eagles to the number 6 seed in the NCAA tournament. After graduating in 2000, Handrahan became the assistant coach for Niagara's men's ice hockey team, where he developed a friendship with Derek Scully, who is currently beginning a hockey program at Robert Morris.
He's a very good professional as far as doing all the things that you're expected to do as a head coach. He asked me to come along, and anytime you get an opportunity to be a part of a program from the beginning, it's a pretty special thing.
Handrahan then began his RMU career in 2004 as the assistant coach for the men's team.
I'll never forget our first game when we played up at Canisius. It was pretty memorable just to be able to see a young group of players get on the ice for the first time together and compete together and play as hard as we did that night, and to get a win on our first night, on our first game, was pretty special as well. And it's been very rewarding to watch the kids over time grow into men and see how they've developed as a program, and I'm happy for their success and how they're going right now.
Robert Morris decided to add a women's ice hockey program and wanted Nate Handrahan to be the head coach.
It was a bittersweet decision. wanted to be able to continue to grow as a coach, and the opportunity to coach the girls team when it presented itself, I felt was the right decision for me. But at the same time, I had very good relationships with all the players, and we had very good coaching staff to be able to continue to help the players develop and help the program develop. So on one hand, I was very excited to be able to take over our women's program. On the other hand, I would have liked to have been able to continue with the men's team as well. So, but I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Against Princeton, Ryan Crothers in charge with Joel Gasper hurt, and the Colonials trying to take an early advantage. Jason Towsley can't finish, though, against the Tigers, but the Tigers, well, they can. Mark Magnowski beats Jim Patterson after the giveaway, 1-0 Princeton. Colonials come back, though. Chris Margot from Nathan Longpre and Crothers, 2-1 Princeton at this point. Then just 2 minutes later, Lee Jubenville chips home a rebound on the break. It's 3-1 Princeton. The rough night for Patterson continues, gets bowled into. Wes Russell comes on in relief. He would stop all 9 shots that he faced, and the Colonials would get one back. 4-1, make it 4-2. Brandon Gay's first career goal, but it would not be enough. Brett Hoffey trying to mix it up at the end, gets a 10-minute misconduct, but the Colonials lose 5-2.
The men's team continued action both Friday and Saturday as they hosted the University of Alabama Huntsville and former Colonial Joe Federoff. The Chargers entered the weekend in last place, giving Coach Scully reason to healthy scratch some key names such as Sean Bergstresser and Jason Towsley. Let's take a look at Friday's game. Joe Federoff, you're back. Welcome back from J.C. Velasquez. 10 minutes into the game, Ryan Crothers, Chris Margot, and Chris Kaufman show how the man advantage is supposed to work. Then it's Nathan Longpre. He loses the puck, but somehow Margot is there to pick up the pieces. It was a big weekend for Chris Margot. Christian Boucher, on the other hand, not so much. Matt Sweezy gets his 7th of the year, and the Chargers will come back. Here they are again, this time taking advantage of a Margot goaltender interference penalty, 2-2 heading into the second period. Kyle Burton gets a good shot off, which just dribbles off the goalie, McNow. Dave Boguslawski there to pick it up. Alabama looks to tie it up again, and just like Staples, that was easy. Freshman Scott Cobianco of the Colonials gets a rebound off the shot by J.C. Velasquez, his 4th of the season. Now they're up by 1. Kale Tanico gets his 2nd goal of the night. Both happen to be shorthanded past Boucher, and he's not even done yet. Coach Scully at this point of the game not so happy with the way his team's performing. Logan Biddle will come back for the Colonials, try to get this shot off. He gets past 2 of the defenders, but he can't get it past the goalie. Then here they are with the hat trick and tie it up at 5 with 40 seconds left. Tanica finishes off the natural hat trick, and they go on to secure the lead with an empty net goal.
Christian Boucher back in net, hoping for a better round 2. Colonials would strike first. Chris Margot slips in his 10th of the year, 1-0 RMU. Then Sean Bergstresser, as Kelly mentioned, had a chance to sit out Friday night, and, well, he learned a few things. He scores here to give RMU a 2-0 lead after the first period. Colonials hoping to hold on to this one like they didn't do the night before. More Margot on 5-on-3 power play. Look at the puck movement. I said, look at the puck movement. Why aren't you watching the puck movement? Chris Margot gets it in, 3-0 RMU. Colonials rolling, but of course the Chargers would make a charge. Looking to close the gap, Andrew Coburn gets his 4th of the year after, again, more puck movement, some sloppy defense by the Colonials. Coburn eventually punches it in. It would be 3-1 RMU. Boucher, though, keeping RMU in front. Again, this defense not able to get the puck off of the Chargers' sticks, but eventually Boucher helps them realize that the Nile is not just a river in Egypt able to cover it up. But a scary moment, though, for the Chargers as Dave Cowan comes along, boards a Chargers player. He would get 5 minutes in the sin bin. Unfortunately for Cowan, that's not a good penalty to pick up, and CHA might take a look at it. Ryan Crothers has been earning his spot as a Hobie Baker nominee, 5 assists in 2 games. Gets stoned there, but he's been hot for the Colonials. Boucher and Joe Federoff are friends. Federoff, a former Colonial, told Boucher that he'd beat him glove side if he had a chance. Boucher should have listened. Federoff 6th on the season, 3-2 RMU, but have no fear, Hoffey is here. Slips it in for his 5th goal of the year, 4-2 RMU. Margot would finish off the scoring with an empty netter for a hat trick. 5-2 RMU. they would be victorious.
You know what, I'll tell you, we got away from what made us successful last night, and getting pucks in deep and not turning pucks over the blue line and playing hard and competing in the war zones and making sure that we take care of the puck. And last night we turned the puck over too many times. This night we didn't, and obviously you could see the difference, and we protected the 2-goal lead. We bent a little bit, but we didn't break, and we got the next one compared to last night where we broke.
So after all that, where are we? Well, Bemidji State leads the CHA with 23 points in 16 games, but the rest have just played 12. Niagara and Robert Morris, second and third. Wayne State and Alabama Huntsville bringing up the bottom.
Senior forward Ryan Crothers is up for the Hobie Baker Award representing the top NCAA hockey player in the nation. The trophy was first unveiled in 1981 and is given to someone who shows strength of character both on and off the ice. While Ryan was leading the votes through January by a large margin, he needs your help now. Simply go to hobiebaker.com or join his Facebook group to vote for him. The first phase of voting runs through March 9th, narrowing the list down to 10, which will be announced on March 15th. Here's a look at the standings right now. Michael Lee Teslick, a goalie from Michigan Tech University, somehow dominating the votes despite being 4-4-2 and only starting half the games. On a brighter note, Crothers is in 5th place, so be sure to keep on voting.
Yeah, even with Teslick in first, at least fan voting only counts for 1% of the final 10 voters.
I know, so I've been voting. Have you been voting?
I have been voting. It's a good thing for Robert Morris, for Crothers even to be mentioned. We've got more good stuff coming up though, don't we?
Including basketball, so be sure to stick around. 60 seconds, we'll be back. The men's basketball team looked to improve their winning streak to 3 in the second game of their homestand as they hosted St. Francis of New York at the Soul Center. The Colonials entered the game at 31-22 overall against the Terriers. Let's head to the Soul Center. Colonials hit the court hoping to move into 3rd place. Tony Lee and A.J. Jackson connect for the first basket of the night. This time, Lee will turn it over to Freddie Harris. That would be good for 2, up and under. Coach Rice liking what he sees so far. Some more offense, this time by Gary Wallace. The Colonials were up 5, but they can't stop Kadio Ayeni for the Terriers. Jamal Womack, that would be good for 3. This ties the game up, and Womack was not done. He'll get the ball right back again, this time behind the arc again. That's good for 3. The sidelines at this point don't look as happy as they did. Jimmy Langhurst starts his hot streak as he gets a 3. You can count that, way behind the arc. Second half, Lee will look for Langhurst again. This time he's right under the hoop. It's up and under, RMU up by 4. St. Francis finds Robert Hines, but they can't connect his first time. But he'll get the zone rebound. The second one is good. This time, Jeremy Chappelle to Langhurst, open again for the 3. He went 2 for 8 behind the arc on the night. And Francisco will get this pass from Wallace. He gets another 3, and then it's good for the and 1 and the foul shot. Chappelle, he can't complete this pass, but he will be able to get it back. Watch Chappelle, he goes and he's charged for the foul as well. They get the and 1 again. Womack finished the game with 19 points. Tony Lee down the court to Jeremy Chappelle. He dunks it to finish off the game. Final score, 83-78, Robert Morris.
round 2 Thursday night. Fairleigh Dickinson coming into town, and guess what? You know it's a good night when Tony Lee plays just 10 minutes and has 10 points because of this. Jeremy Chappelle rolling. This is something that Lee could contribute to. He gets it in. The Colonial is just absolutely torching the Knights. There's Chappelle hitting a 3. He had 17 on the night. It's A.J. Jackson stepping back for 3. He had 12 on the night. There were 5 Colonials in double digits tonight. Gary Wallace getting in on the action. Nice little ball fake, laying it up and in. The Colonials just absolutely steamrolling. 53-26. Yeah, the bear-shirted men are happy. RMU, RMU. Yeah, Colonials more defense. Jackson comes up with the steal, kicks it ahead to Pateco Francisco, and Chappelle with the flush. Absolutely tremendous performance by the Colonials tonight, at one point up by 50. Jackson gets it up and in, lays it in. The Colonials even saw Cody Wilson, the walk-on, get a chance. Here's Lee, though, kicking it ahead to Chappelle again with the jam. Send it in, Jerome. The Colonials absolutely rolling tonight. They get all kinds of production from the bench. Here's Mezi Nwigwe trying to drive to the hole, puts it up. Ifeanyi flushed it. Colonials 95-45, the largest win ever in the Northeast Conference for the Colonials, and that puts the Colonials in sole possession of second place, just behind Sacred Heart, who also won today. They are actually 11-2 now. Colonials face Long Island, you see at the bottom of the pile, 7th out of 11 in the NEC. Long Island comes in on Saturday.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to leave without an ass hat.
Absolutely, and we've got a good one, so don't go anywhere. In 60 seconds, the first ass hat of 2008. The story of Kevin Hart is why National Signing Day has become a farce. Hart is a small-town offensive lineman, one of thousands of high school seniors every year that dreams of playing for a major college football team. He held a press conference the other day to announce that he had chosen California over Oregon. Neither school had actually recruited him. Kevin Hart, desperately pleading for attention, had apparently made it all up. Meanwhile, across the country a couple days later, in a small town that could be classified as a suburb of Pittsburgh, CSTV, ESPN, and newspapers around the country converged on Jeanette High School. They wanted to know where Terrell Pryor would go. He called a news conference to announce that he had no news. Pryor has been playing all of us for fools, to the point where the latest joke here at RMU-TV is that we are waiting for the call that Pryor will forsake everyone and come to Robert Morris. Pryor and Hart are pawns. They've succumbed to the glitz of signing day. If you look at the past few top high school football players, they've yet to make an impact nationally. It's time we stop treating 17-year-old kids like superstars. It's time to end the glamour, and it's time for signing day and all who perpetuate it to sit silently in a corner wearing a giant ass hat.
Calling all Colonial crazies, here's some matchups you have to look forward to in the upcoming days. Be sure to catch the basketball games. This weekend, the women start at 4:30, the men at 7. Think pink, it's breast cancer awareness. Wear your pink shirts. We're making Andrew do it, so you should do it as well. And on that note, if you want more RMU TV, here's what you can look at. RMU Live, 5:30, Tuesday and Thursdays. RMU Tonight, Thursdays at 8, and CSE. And the newly released Andrew and Dan in the Afternoon radio show. Tune in every Monday and Friday at 3 to 5.
Oh, they even got me in the right suit.
Oh.
Yeah, I will be wearing pink. You should too. See you Saturday. Good night.